Scrubs? Anyone can buy scrubs. What, you think putting on a costume makes you a doctor? Officer Brandon Mitchell's voice drips with contempt. His flashlight stays locked on her face. Officer, I apologize for my speed. I'm a trauma surgeon at Metropolitan General. There's a patient. Yeah? So where's your real ID? Or did you steal that too, along with this fancy car? Maya's voice stays calm, soft, professional. Sir, my hospital badge is in my bag. My stethoscope is right there. The hospital is calling me. A boy is dying. A boy is dying. Mitchell mimics her voice, cruel. You people always got some story. Step out, hands behind your back. Hayes pulls out handcuffs. 10:52 p.m. In 3 hours, Mitchell will stand in front of his police chief and hear the 5 words that end his career. But right now, he has no idea who he's arresting. 3 hours earlier. Maya Richardson pulls off her scrubs in the hospital locker room. 14 hours on her feet. 3 surgeries. 2 saves. 1 loss that still stings. Dr. Patricia Carter leans against the doorway. Go home, Maya. You've been here since 6 a.m. Maya rubs her neck. Just finishing notes. Tom's in a council meeting anyway. She doesn't say her husband's full title. Police Chief Thomas Richardson. They learned in Chicago to keep that quiet. Too many whispers. Too many assumptions. A black woman doctor married to a white cop climbing the ranks. People talked. They still do. Maya texts him. Heading home. How's the meeting? 3 dots appear. Then, rough. They want me to delay body camera implementation. I'll be late. She drives home. 15 minutes through the city. Their house sits in a quiet neighborhood, mixed, professional, the kind of place where people nod hello but don't pry. Maya showers, changes into sweats, heats up leftover Thai food, sits on the couch with her phone. She's scrolling through medical journals when her phone rings. 10:45 p.m. Dr. Carter. Her voice is tight. Maya, I need you back. GSW patient. 17-year-old male. Massive internal bleeding. ETA 10 minutes. You're the only one who can handle this. Maya is already moving. Prep OR2. I'm 15 minutes out. She doesn't waste time changing completely. Surgeons keep spare scrubs at home for exactly this reason. She pulls on the blue cotton, grabs her bag with her hospital ID and stethoscope, runs to her car. The BMW. Registered under Tom's name. They did that for privacy, too. After Chicago, they wanted separation, professional distance. She backs out fast, hits the gas. Somewhere across the city, Marcus Webb is in an ambulance. 17. Scholar-athlete. MIT scholarship for engineering. He was walking home from his friend's house when a drive-by caught him. Wrong place, wrong time. The bullet tore through his abdomen. His mother Sharon is in another car behind the ambulance, praying, screaming, begging God. At Metropolitan General, Dr. Carter is scrubbing in. Her hands move fast. She's good, but she's not Maya. Maya has 12 years of trauma surgery. Maya has hands that don't shake. Maya has instincts that save lives when minutes matter. The OR team is ready. Instruments laid out, blood warming, anesthesia standing by. Where's Dr. Richardson? A nurse asks. Chen checks her phone. She said 15 minutes. That was 12 minutes ago. Meanwhile, 4 miles away in City Hall, Chief Thomas Richardson sits in a conference room. 6 council members. 2 hours of arguing. The new body camera policy is on the table. Councilman Davis, white, 60, old money, leans back in his chair. Chief Richardson, we appreciate your enthusiasm, but mandatory cameras on every officer? The union is pushing back hard. Tom's voice stays level. 89 complaints of racial profiling in 18 months. How many more do we need before we act? Councilwoman Garcia nods. The chief is right, but Davis isn't done. You're moving too fast. You've been here 6 months. Let the department adjust. Tom's phone sits face down on the table. Silent mode. He never checks it during council meetings. He doesn't see Maya's text from earlier. He doesn't see the incoming call from the hospital at 10:58 p.m. Back at the precinct, Officer Brandon Mitchell is wrapping up his shift. 5 years on the force. 12 complaints in his file, all dismissed, all buried. He's part of the old guard, the Brotherhood. The officers who resist Chief Richardson's reforms. His partner Hayes is younger, quieter. He follows Mitchell's lead. Always has. They're cruising Highway 40 when dispatch crackles. All units be advised. Increase in vehicle thefts in Sector 7. Multiple BMWs reported stolen this month. Suspects using fake credentials. Mitchell perks up. BMWs, that's the gentrified area. Lots of doctors and lawyers are moving in. Hayes nods. Makes sense. Easy targets. They drive past the hospital. Metropolitan General's lights glow in the distance. The ER entrance is busy. Friday night. Gunshots. Car accidents. Overdoses. Neither officer knows that inside that building, a surgical team is waiting, that a mother is crying in a family room, that a teenager's blood pressure is dropping, and that the only surgeon who can save him is about to be pulled over 3 miles away. At 10:50 p.m., Maya's BMW hits Highway 40. She's doing 48 in a 40 zone. Not reckless, but fast, focused. Her mind is already in the OR. She's running through the procedure, GSW to the abdomen, likely liver or spleen, maybe both. She'll need to control the bleeding first, then assess damage, then repair. She sees the yellow light ahead. It's turning red. She accelerates through it, legal, barely. Behind her, Mitchell sees the BMW, sees it run the yellow light, sees the expensive car, sees an opportunity. Let's pull them over. Hayes hits the lights. Maya's heart sinks when she sees the red and blue in her rearview mirror. No, not now, not tonight. She signals, pulls over immediately, turns on her interior light, hands on the wheel, everything by the book. She learned this from Tom. How to survive a traffic stop while black, even in scrubs, even as a doctor, even as the police chief's wife, especially as the police chief's wife. Mitchell approaches the driver's side. His flashlight is too bright. Aggressive. He sweeps it across her face, her scrubs, her bag. He sees what he expects to see. A black woman, in a nice car, wearing what could be a costume. Maya keeps her voice calm. Good evening, officer. Mitchell doesn't return the greeting. License and registration. She reaches slowly for her purse. I'm reaching for my wallet now. Her license is current. Clean. Maya Richardson. Her photo. Her address. The registration is in the glove box. She explains before moving. The registration is in the glove compartment. May I reach for it? Mitchell nods, watches her closely. The registration reads, Thomas Richardson. And that's when everything starts to unravel. Not because Mitchell recognizes the name, not yet, but because he sees a discrepancy. He sees a black woman driving a white man's car. He sees scrubs that could be fake. He sees an opportunity to be suspicious. He sees what he's been trained to see, by a system, by a culture, by 28 years of living in a country that taught him who belongs where. And Maya Richardson, in her mind, doesn't belong behind the wheel of a BMW at 10:52 p.m. on a Friday night, even though she does, even though it's her car, her husband, her life, her right. But rights don't matter when assumptions take over. Maya checks the dashboard clock, 10:53 p.m. At the hospital, Marcus Webb has 7 minutes until he arrives. His blood pressure is 70/40. Falling. Dr. Carter checks her phone again. Where is she? And 4 miles away, Mitchell is about to make the worst decision of his career. Mitchell walks back to his patrol car with Maya's license and registration. Hayes joins him. Black female, Maya Richardson. The car is registered to Thomas Richardson. Hayes looks at the documents. Husband, maybe? Mitchell shrugs. Or stolen. Or borrowed. Check this. She's wearing scrubs. Brand new. Clean. No hospital smell. No ID badge visible. She could actually be a nurse or something. Or she bought scrubs to look legit. Mitchell types into his computer. The BMW hasn't been reported stolen. Maya's license is clean. No warrants. No priors. Nothing. But Mitchell's instinct tells him something is off. It's the same instinct that's gotten him 12 complaints. The same instinct that sees threat in melanin. He returns to Maya's window. 3 minutes have passed. Ms. Richardson, this vehicle is registered to Thomas Richardson. What's your relationship to him? Maya's jaw tightens. Stay calm. Stay professional. He's my husband, an officer. That's our family car. Your husband. And where is he right now? He's at work. At 11 p.m.? Mitchell's voice drips skepticism. Yes, sir. He works late. She doesn't say what Tom does, doesn't say police chief. That card isn't hers to play. Not like this. Not when she needs to be believed as Dr. Richardson, not Mrs. Richardson. Uh-huh. And you're wearing scrubs because? I'm a trauma surgeon at Metropolitan General. I received an emergency call. There's a patient. A trauma surgeon. Mitchell cuts her off. You got an ID for that? Yes. In my bag on the passenger seat. Don't move. I'll get it. He opens the passenger door, pulls out her bag, dumps the contents onto the seat. Her hospital badge falls out. Photo ID. Dr. Maya Richardson, Chief of Trauma Surgery. Her stethoscope is there too. The expensive kind. Litman Cardiology 4, $300. Mitchell holds up the badge, studies it under his flashlight. This could be fake. Maya's patience cracks. Just slightly. Sir, it's real. You can call the hospital. My colleague is waiting for me, a 17-year-old boy. A lot of people can make fake badges these days, real professional looking. Her phone rings. The car's Bluetooth picks it up automatically. Dr. Carter's voice fills the car through the speakers. Maya, where are you? He's crashing. Blood pressure is 60/30. I need you now. Maya lunges for her phone. Mitchell's hand shoots out. Don't touch that. That's my colleague. That's the hospital. I need to... Hands on the wheel. Maya's voice rises. She can't help it. Officer, please. A child is dying. Mitchell leans in close. Ma'am, I need you to calm down. Getting agitated isn't helping your case. My case? I haven't done anything wrong. You're driving a vehicle registered to someone else, wearing medical scrubs that could be purchased online, carrying what might be a fake ID, and now you're being uncooperative. Hayes shifts uncomfortably behind Mitchell. Mitchell, she does have the badge and the stethoscope. Mitchell ignores him. Step out of the vehicle. Why? I've given you everything but say... Step out. Now, or I'll remove you myself. Maya's hands shake as she unbuckles her seatbelt. She steps out onto the shoulder. Traffic passes. A few cars slow down. Someone's phone is up. Recording. Mitchell guides her to the back of her car. Put your hands on the trunk. Officer, please. Just call the hospital. Ask for Dr. Patricia Carter. She'll confirm. Hands on the trunk. Maya complies. Her scrubs rustle in the night wind. The fabric is thin. She's cold. Or maybe she's just terrified. Hayes searches the car. He finds medical journals in the back seat. Subscriptions with her name. A white coat draped over the passenger headrest. Her name is embroidered on it. Dr. Maya Richardson, Chief of Trauma Surgery. He brings it to Mitchell. She's got all this stuff, man. Journals, the coat, it all has her name. Mitchell examines the coat, holds it up. Could all be faked. Identity theft is sophisticated now. A car pulls over behind them. A black man in his 50s gets out. Officers, is there a problem? That's Dr. Richardson. I recognize her from the hospital. Mitchell turns. Sir, return to your vehicle. This is police business. But I'm telling you, she's a doctor. She saved my daughter last year. Sir, I will not ask again. Leave or you'll be charged with obstruction. The man hesitates, pulls out his phone, starts recording. Mitchell's face hardens. Hayes, get these people out of here. 2 more cars have stopped, more phones, more witnesses, and Maya stands with her hands on her trunk, wearing scrubs, with her credentials scattered across her passenger seat. At Metropolitan General, Marcus Webb's heart rate is spiking, erratic. Dr. Carter is shouting orders. The clock reads 11:02 p.m. Mitchell pulls out his handcuffs. The handcuffs click around Maya's wrists. Cold metal. Tight. Behind her back. She's never been arrested before. Never even had a speeding ticket. And now she's standing on Highway 40 in scrubs with her hands bound while a teenager bleeds out. You're under arrest for suspicion of vehicle theft, possession of fraudulent identification, and obstruction of justice. Maya's voice breaks. Obstruction? I've answered every question. I've shown you everything. You became agitated and uncooperative. That's obstruction. The man who stopped to help is still recording. His phone captures everything. Maya in handcuffs, the scrubs, the medical equipment scattered in her car, the white coat with her name on it. This is wrong, he shouts. She's a doctor. I've seen her at Metro General. Mitchell walks toward him. Sir, final warning. Leave now or join her in custody. The man backs up but keeps filming. A woman in the second stopped car rolls down her window. I'm calling the news. This is racial profiling. Hayes looks uncomfortable. Mitchell, maybe we should verify with the hospital, just to be safe. We'll verify at the station. Procedure. He guides Maya to the patrol car, opens the back door, places his hand on her head as she ducks inside, like she's a criminal, like she's dangerous. The back seat smells like sweat and fear and desperation. How many people have sat here? How many were innocent? How many were guilty only of being black in the wrong place at the wrong time? Maya's phone rings again in her car. Through the open doors, she can hear it. Dr. Carter, calling, begging, desperate. Officer, please, answer my phone. Tell them where I am. Mitchell closes the car door. The sound is final, definitive. He walks to Maya's BMW, picks up her phone, looks at the screen. Dr. Patricia Carter calling. He declines the call. Hayes stares. Mitchell, why did you... Could be part of the scam. Could be an accomplice. An accomplice to what? We don't even know if a crime was committed. Mitchell's jaw sets. I know what I saw. Black woman, expensive car, fake credentials. It's textbook identity theft. He's doubling down, because admitting he's wrong now would mean admitting he's been wrong from the start. And men like Mitchell don't admit mistakes. They justify them. They expand them. They make them bigger until the original error disappears under layers of new accusations. It's easier than saying 3 words. I was wrong. At 11:08 p.m., they pull away from the highway. The bystanders watch. Their phones are still recording. Someone has already posted to social media. The video is uploaded. Spreading. Inside the patrol car, Maya sits in silence. She can hear the radio chatter. Dispatch. Other units. Normal Friday night chaos. She tries to steady her breathing. Tries not to think about Marcus, about his mother, about Dr. Carter alone in that OR trying to stop bleeding that Maya could stop in her sleep. Try not to think about Tom. Still in his council meeting. Phone on silent. No idea his wife is in the back of a police car. She looks down at her scrubs. There's been a small coffee stain on the chest from this morning. 14 hours ago. A lifetime ago. She was Dr. Richardson then. Respected, trusted, believed. Now she's just another black woman who dared to exist in a space where someone decided she didn't belong. The drive to the precinct takes 12 minutes. At 11:20 p.m., they pull into the station. Mitchell parks in the back, the Sally Port, where they bring in arrests. As he opens her door, Maya hears something on the radio. All units be advised. Metropolitan General Hospital has called twice requesting information on Dr. Maya Richardson. Claims she's a surgeon en route to emergency surgery. Dispatch, advise units to confirm. Mitchell's face doesn't change. He helps Maya out of the car. Hayes heard it too. Mitchell, did you hear that? I heard it. Could still be part of the scam. A scam involving the hospital calling dispatch? Come on, man. We're here now. We'll sort it out inside. They walk Maya through the back entrance. Fluorescent lights, concrete floors, the smell of old coffee and institutional cleaning supplies. The booking desk sits at the end of a hallway. Behind it, Sergeant Williams. 53. Black. 30 years on the force. He's seen everything. Done everything. Survived everything. He looks up as they approach. His eyes land on Maya. The scrubs, the handcuffs, the exhaustion and terror on her face. His expression changes. Subtle. But it's there. What do we have? His voice is careful, measured. Mitchell steps forward. Suspect driving a vehicle registered to another party. Carrying potentially fraudulent medical credentials. Obstruction when questioned. Williams looks at Maya. Really looks at her. What's your name, ma'am? Dr. Maya Richardson. Her voice is steady now. She's found some reserve of strength. I'm Chief of Trauma Surgery at Metropolitan General. These officers stopped me on my way to an emergency surgery. I've provided my license, registration, hospital ID, and multiple witnesses have confirmed my identity. I need to make a phone call. Williams's face is stone, but his eyes flicker. Recognition, maybe. Or just the recognition of a situation about to explode. Dr. Richardson. He says it slowly, testing the name. And the vehicle registration? My husband's name, Thomas Richardson. We keep the car registered to him for privacy reasons. Williams's hand tightens on his pen. Just for a second. Mitchell doesn't notice. We need to verify everything. Vehicle, ID, medical credentials. The whole story seems suspicious. Suspicious how? Williams asks. Black female, expensive car, clean scrubs at 11 p.m. Claims to be a surgeon but was agitated and uncooperative when questioned. Williams sets down his pen. Officer Mitchell, did you run her license? Yes, clean. Did you check if the vehicle was reported stolen? No reports. Did you see any contraband in the vehicle? Mitchell hesitates. No, but did she resist arrest physically? No, but she was verbally. Did you call the hospital to verify her employment? Silence. Williams leans back in his chair. So you arrested a woman with a clean license, driving a car that's not reported stolen, carrying medical equipment and ID, and you didn't verify any of her story before bringing her in? Hayes shifts his weight. Uncomfortable. Mitchell's face reddens. Sergeant, with all due respect, I used my judgment. Something didn't add up. What didn't add up? It didn't feel right. Williams stares at him, long enough that Mitchell looks away. Then Williams picks up his phone, dials. Metropolitan General, please. A pause. Yes, this is Sergeant Williams at Central Precinct. I need to verify employment for Dr. Maya Richardson. Maya closes her eyes. Finally. The voice on the other end is loud enough for everyone to hear. Frantic. Dr. Richardson, Is she there? We've been trying to reach her. We have a critical patient. She was arrested. Who arrested her? We need her here now. Williams looks at Mitchell. His expression says everything his mouth doesn't. Thank you. We'll handle it. He hangs up. The booking area is silent. Williams stands, walks around the desk, unlocks Maya's handcuffs himself. Dr. Richardson, I apologize. You're free to go. Maya rubs her wrists. Red marks where the metal bit in. What time is it? 11:27. Her face crumbles. 35 minutes. Ma'am. I was stopped at 10:52. It's 11:27. That's 35 minutes. A gunshot victim to the abdomen bleeds out in 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the artery. Marcus Webb is dead, Sergeant. That boy is dead. The words land like physical blows. Williams' jaw tightens. Dr. Richardson, I need to call the hospital. He hands her the phone. She dials with shaking fingers. Dr. Carter answers on the first ring. Maya? Patricia, tell me he made it. Silence on the other end. Silence that says everything. We lost him at 11:20. I tried, Maya. I tried everything, but I couldn't find the bleeder fast enough. I needed you. Maya's knees buckle. Williams catches her, guides her to a chair. She's crying now. Quiet, devastated. His mother? Maya whispers. She's here. Maya, she knows you were arrested. Someone told her. She's asking for you. Maya looks up at Williams, then at Mitchell. Her eyes are red, but her voice is clear. Officer Mitchell, what's your first name? Brandon. He can barely get the word out. Brandon Mitchell. Remember that name, Sergeant Williams? Because Marcus Webb's mother will remember it. His family will remember it. And I will make sure everyone remembers why a 17-year-old boy bled to death on an operating table while the surgeon who could have saved him sat in handcuffs on the side of the road. Mitchell's face has gone pale. Williams picks up the phone again. Not the desk phone. His cell phone. Personal. He turns away slightly. His voice is low, but Maya can hear him. Janice, it's Williams. We have a situation. Maya Richardson was just arrested. Yes, the chief's wife. You need to get here. Now. He hangs up. Looks at Mitchell and Hayes. Neither of you move. Neither of you leave. Neither of you say another word. Maya wipes her eyes. Who did you just call? Deputy Mayor Morrison. She's been investigating this precinct for months. Tonight, you just became Exhibit A. Mitchell's world is ending. He can feel it, see it, but he can't stop it. And the clock keeps ticking. Deputy Mayor Janice Morrison arrives at 11:43 p.m. She doesn't walk into the precinct. She storms in. Black pantsuit, heels that click like gunshots on the concrete floor. Behind her, two people. Rebecca Walsh, the city attorney, and 3 reporters. She brought the press. Intentionally. Williams meets her at the entrance. Deputy Mayor, where is she? Booking area, Morrison is already moving. She sees Maya sitting in a chair, still in scrubs, red marks on her wrists, tear-stained face, the perfect picture of injustice. The reporter's cameras start clicking. Morrison kneels beside Maya, puts a hand on her shoulder. Maya, I'm here. Are you hurt? Maya shakes her head. A boy died, Janice. Marcus Webb, 17. He died because I was sitting in a police car. Morrison's face hardens. She stands, turns to face Mitchell and Hayes. Which one of you made the arrest? Mitchell raises his hand slightly, like a kid in school admitting he broke something. Morrison walks toward him, slow, deliberate. The reporters follow, cameras up. Your name? Officer Brandon Mitchell. How long have you been with this department? 5 years. 5 years. Morrison pulls out her iPad, taps the screen. Officer Brandon Mitchell. Badge number 2847. Let me read you something. Complaint filed March 2023. Black male physician stopped outside Metro General. No violation. No citation. Just questioned for 15 minutes. Complaint dismissed. She scrolls. Complaint filed June 2023. Black female nurse detained in hospital parking lot. Asked to prove she worked there despite wearing hospital scrubs and a badge. Complaint dismissed. She keeps going. Complaint filed September 2023. Black paramedic handcuffed after neighbor reported suspicious person. He was entering his own ambulance. Complaint dismissed. Her voice rises. 12 complaints in 5 years. All involving black professionals. All dismissed. And tonight, you arrested Dr. Bite. Maya Richardson, chief of trauma surgery, while she was responding to an emergency. A patient died while she sat in your car. Explain that to me. Mitchell's mouth opens. Nothing comes out. Morrison turns to Hayes. And you? Derek Hayes. 7 complaints. Same pattern. You stood by and watched. You're just as guilty. The cameras capture everything. Hayes looks at the floor. Morrison addresses the room now. But this isn't just about 2 officers. This is about a system. Sergeant Williams, can you pull up the data I sent you last week? Williams pulls up a file on his computer, projects it onto a screen in the booking area. Statistics, numbers, patterns. Morrison narrates. In the past 18 months, this precinct has had 47 incidents involving black healthcare workers. 47. Doctors questioned about their credentials. Nurses asked to prove they work at hospitals. Paramedics detained for entering their own ambulances. She clicks to the next slide. Black drivers in this precinct are stopped at 4 times the rate of white drivers. Black professionals are questioned at 7 times the rate. And in 100% of cases where black medical personnel were detained, the officers involved were part of the same union faction resisting Chief Richardson's reforms. Mitchell's face drains of color. Morrison isn't done. Officer Mitchell, when you saw Dr. Richardson, what was your first thought? I saw someone driving a car registered to another person. And if she'd been white, would you have assumed theft? Silence. If a white woman in scrubs told you she was a surgeon, would you have believed her? More silence. If a white woman presented hospital ID, stethoscope, medical journals, and had a colleague calling to confirm her identity, would you have arrested her? Mitchell's voice is barely audible. I don't know. You don't know. Or you do know, and you don't want to say it. The booking area door opens. Everyone turns. Chief Thomas Richardson walks in. He's in full dress uniform. White, 42. Every inch the police chief. His face is carved from stone. His eyes scan the room. They land on Maya. For a moment his composure cracks. Just a moment. His jaw tightens. His hands clench. Then he rebuilds the wall. Professional. Cold. Controlled. He walks past Morrison. Past the reporters. Past Williams. Directly to Maya. He doesn't say anything. Just looks at her. Checking for injuries. For damage. For breaks. Maya nods slightly. I'm okay. Tom exhales. Then he turns to face the room. The officers expect him to explode, to scream, to pull rank and destroy Mitchell on the spot. He does none of those things. His voice is quiet, deadly. 6 months ago, I stood in this building and made a promise. I promised reform. I promised accountability. I promised that no one in this city would be above the law or beneath dignity. He looks at Mitchell and Hayes. Tonight you made me a liar. Mitchell tries to speak. Chief, I didn't know she was... My wife? Tom's voice cracks like thunder. That's your defense? That you didn't know she was my wife? The room freezes. Tom steps closer to Mitchell. So if you had known she was married to me, You would have believed her? If you had known she was connected to power, would you have let her go? Mitchell stammers. I just meant... I know what you meant. You meant that Dr. Richardson needed to be my wife to deserve respect. She needed to be connected to me to be credible. Her medical degree wasn't enough. Her hospital ID wasn't enough. Her 12 years of saving lives wasn't enough. She needed to belong to a man with power before you'd treat her like a human being. He turns to address everyone. The reporters are writing frantically. Dr. Maya Richardson shouldn't need to be the police chief's wife to be believed. She's a surgeon. She's saved over 3,000 lives. She graduated top of her class from Johns Hopkins. That should be enough. That is enough. Morrison steps forward. Chief Richardson, what are the legal options here? Tom looks at her. They've clearly discussed this already. This is theater. Necessary theater. Deputy Mayor, what charges could these officers face? Morrison's voice is formal, prosecutorial. False arrest under color of law. Civil rights violations under federal statute. If we can establish causation between the detention and Marcus Webb's death, potentially negligent homicide. Federal charges carry up to 10 years imprisonment and $250,000 in fines. They would also lose qualified immunity. Mitchell's knees actually buckle. Hayes catches him. Tom turns to Maya. Dr. Richardson. Not my wife. Not Mrs. Richardson. Dr. Richardson. What do you want? This is the moment. The power shift. The reversal. Maya stands. She's still in scrubs, still has marks on her wrists. But she's not a victim anymore. She's a force. I want their badges. Mitchell makes a sound, almost a whimper. Maya continues. Her voice is steel. I want their pensions. I want them to understand what it feels like to have your career questioned because of your skin color. She steps toward Mitchell. He actually backs up. I want every officer in this department to undergo mandatory implicit bias training. Not optional. Mandatory. Every month. She's not yelling. She doesn't need to. Her words carry more weight than screaming ever could. I want body cameras on every officer, active during every interaction. I want a civilian review board with real power to discipline. I want the 47 cases Deputy Mayor Morrison mentioned reinvestigated. She turns to Tom. And I want it on record that I'm asking for this as Dr. Maya Richardson, Chief of Trauma Surgery at Metropolitan General Hospital. Not as your wife, not as someone with connections. As a black woman who has been doubted every single day of her career and is done being silent about it. The reporters are capturing every word. Tom nods. Noted for the record. He turns to Mitchell and Hayes. You have two choices. His voice is back to that deadly quiet. Choice 1. Resign effective immediately, waive all pension benefits, agree to testify in the Department of Justice investigation into this precinct's practices, issue a public apology to Dr. Richardson and the Webb family. You'll avoid criminal charges. He pauses. Choice 2. Suspension without pay pending criminal investigation. The FBI Civil Rights Division is already en route. They'll be here in 40 minutes. They're very interested in officers with 12 racial profiling complaints. Hayes speaks first. His voice shakes. What should we do? Tom's expression doesn't change. That's not my decision. That's yours. But I'll tell you this. If you choose option 2, I will personally ensure that every piece of evidence, every complaint, every pattern of behavior is handed to federal prosecutors, and I will testify against you. Mitchell finds his voice. You'd testify against your own officers? You're not my officers. Not anymore. My officers serve the community. My officers protect people. My officers don't arrest surgeons on their way to save children. Councilwoman Garcia steps forward from the back of the room. She was called too. The whole city leadership is here. The city council has been briefed. We support Chief Richardson's reforms, fully, publicly, and we'll be introducing emergency legislation tomorrow morning. Councilman Thompson joins her. The Marcus Webb Medical Professional Protection Act. Any officer who detains medical personnel responding to emergencies without clear evidence of criminal activity commits a Class A misdemeanor. The first offense is termination. It will pass unanimously. Morrison adds, we'll also be releasing my 8-month investigation into this precinct. 47 cases, detailed patterns, statistical analysis. The media has it embargoed until tomorrow morning. But after tonight, that embargo lifts. She looks at Mitchell. So when you walk out of here, whether you resign or not, the whole city will know your name. They'll know what you did. They'll know why Marcus Webb died. The weight of it crushes Mitchell. You can see it happening. His shoulders sag, his face crumbles. Hayes speaks quietly. I resign. Everyone looks at Mitchell. He's crying now, tears running down his face. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know she was really... Maya's voice cuts through. Really what? Really a doctor? You had every piece of evidence. You chose not to believe it. That's not ignorance, that's racism. Mitchell wipes his face. I resign. Williams steps forward with a form. Sign here. Both officers sign. Their hands shake so badly the signatures are barely legible. Williams takes their badges, their guns, their police identification. The stripping of authority is physical, visible, final. As Mitchell hands over his badge, Maya steps close to him, close enough that he has to look at her. Look at my necklace. He looks down, a thin gold chain, a ring hanging on it, engraved on the band, MR plus TR. I was wearing this the whole time. My wedding ring. I wear it during surgery. It was visible, right there. You just never looked long enough to see me as a person. Mitchell's face contorts. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry, don't bring Marcus Webb back. He was 17. MIT scholarship, engineering. He wanted to build bridges, and he bled to death while you played detective with my credentials. She turns away from him, back to Williams. I need to go to the hospital. Mrs. Webb is waiting for me. Tom speaks. I'll drive you. No. Maya's voice is firm. You stay here. You have a department to rebuild. This isn't about you saving me. This is about me saving the next woman who looks like me. She looks at Morrison. Will you take me? Morrison nods. Let's go. As they walk toward the exit, Morrison turns back to the reporters. You have everything you need. Run it. All of it. The cameras flash one more time. Maya in scrubs, Mitchell in tears, Tom standing tall, the visual representation of a system breaking and beginning to rebuild. Maya pauses at the door, looks back at the booking area. Remember his name? Marcus Webb. Remember why he died, and make sure it never happens again. Then she's gone. The room stays silent for a long moment. Tom finally speaks. Everyone in this precinct. Briefing room. Now. We're about to have a very long conversation about what happens next. Mitchell and Hayes stand there. No badges, no guns, no future in law enforcement. Hayes whispers, What do we do now? Mitchell has no answer. Morrison drives Maya to Metropolitan General. The city passes by. Lights, traffic. Normal Friday night for everyone else. For Maya, nothing is normal anymore. Williams called me first, Morrison says. Not Tom. He knew this needed to be about systemic racism, not a husband rescuing his wife. Maya nods. He's smart. He's exhausted. 30 years watching bad cops bury good ones. They pull into the hospital parking lot, the same lot where Maya should have arrived an hour ago. Morrison parks. Want me to come in? I need to do this alone. Inside, staff stare. Word has spread. Dr. Carter meets her in the hallway, still in surgical gown, blood on it. Marcus's blood. Chen hugs her, hard. When they pull apart, her eyes are red. His mother is in the family room. She asked for you. The family room is designed for the worst conversations. Soft lighting, tissues everywhere. Sharon Webb sits on the couch, 42, grocery store uniform. She came straight from work. 1 hour hoping, 1 hour grieving. Dr. Richardson? She stands. Mrs. Webb, I'm so sorry. Sharon hugs her. Maya freezes. She expected anger, blame. She deserves it. Instead, Sharon holds her like they're both drowning. They told me that you were arrested, that you were in handcuffs while my baby... She can't finish. They sit together. Sharon holds Maya's hand. Tell me what happened. Medically. Maya steadies her voice. Gunshot to the abdomen, severed his hepatic artery, the main blood vessel to the liver. Dr. Carter did everything right. But that specific injury requires speed and precision I've practiced hundreds of times. If I'd been here 15 minutes earlier, I could have saved him. Sharon nods slowly. Marcus wanted to be an engineer. He'd say, Mama, I want to build bridges, connect people, different communities, different backgrounds. She laughs sadly. He'd love knowing his death is building a bridge between police and our community. He shouldn't have had to die for that. No, but he did. So we make it mean something. Sharon pulls out her phone. Shows Marcus's graduation photo. Cap and gown. Huge smile. I'm starting the Marcus Webb Foundation. Scholarships for minority students. Funding for bias training. Community programs. She looks at Maya. Will you help? Anything. Train the police. Teach them that scrubs mean save the person, not question them. Maya's throat tightens. I promise. They talk for another hour. About Marcus. His dreams. His jokes. His kindness. How he called his mama every day. The boy who will never call again. At 2 a.m., Maya leaves. Tom waits in the parking lot, still in uniform. How was it? She's stronger than I am. Doubt that. They drive home in silence. In the driveway, Tom turns off the car but doesn't move. The union is calling for a no-confidence vote. Because of tonight? Because I chose justice over brotherhood. Regrets? None. He takes her hand. When we married, some guys said I was throwing away my career. White cop, black doctor, too political, too visible. You never told me. Didn't want you thinking our marriage was a burden, but they were right. It is political. Everything is when you marry someone the system sees as less than. I'm done pretending otherwise. We'll lose friends. Then they weren't friends. Inside, Tom makes tea. Maya changes out of her scrubs. She'll never wear them again. They're evidence now. She comes down in sweats and Tom's old academy shirt. The irony isn't lost on them. Kitchen table, tea, processing. What happens now? Maya asks. Tom shows her his phone. News alert. Doctor arrested while responding to emergency. Patient dies. National news already. Now the country watches. We fix this or prove nothing changes. Maya's phone buzzes. Unknown number. Dr. Richardson, this is Hayes. I have no right to contact you, but I enrolled in community mediation training today. I'll work with police accountability groups. I can't undo what I did, but I can make sure others don't. Sorry will never be enough, but I'll spend my life proving I can be better. Maya shows Tom. 1 out of 2, he says. 50%. Better than 0. Mitchell? Mitchell will die believing he was right. Some people can't be saved. Tom walks to the window. In the morning press conference, you, me, Morris, and Mrs. Webb, we announce everything. Body cameras, review board, Marcus Webb act. The union will fight. Let them. I'll win or lose doing what's right. Maya joins him. We'll be famous or infamous. Good. Let them see us. Let them see what marriage looks like when the system tries to break it. 3 weeks later, City Hall steps. Press conference. Morrison speaks first about the investigation. 47 cases. Undeniable patterns. Tom announces reforms. Mandatory body cameras. Civilian review board with subpoena power. Quarterly bias training. Independent investigation of all 89 racial profiling complaints. 23 officers have requested early retirement rather than face audits. 12 cases are under criminal review. And we're just beginning. Mrs. Webb steps forward. Announce the Marcus Webb Foundation. Already raised $50,000. Then Maya speaks. I'm chief of trauma surgery, Hopkins graduate. 3,000 surgeries. Last night, 2 officers saw only my skin. Not because they're uniquely evil, but because the system trained them that black excellence is suspicious. She pauses. Starting next month, I'm conducting mandatory training for all officers, medical emergency protocols, so the next time someone sees scrubs and blood, they clear the way. Do not reach for handcuffs. The crowd applauds. A reporter shouts, Dr. Richardson, will you sue? No, litigation won't change culture. But I'll do something better. I'll make sure every officer remembers Marcus Webb's name. And why did he died? The story goes viral. Hashtag #IamMaya Richardson trends. Doctors and nurses nationwide share their stories. 47 police departments implement similar reforms. The ripple effect spreads. 1 month later, Richardson home. Kitchen. Maya cooks. Tom sets the table. Normal evening, except nothing is normal anymore. Council voted, Tom says. The training facility will be named after Marcus. Not you. Good. That's what I wanted. Doorbell rings. Delivery. Large flower arrangement. Card reads, From the Webb family. Thank you for making Marcus matter. He's saving lives now, just differently than he planned. Maya holds the card. Tears form. Tom wraps his arms around her. You okay? No. But I will be. And more importantly, the next Dr. Richardson will be safer. Outside, the sun sets on a city beginning to change. One policy at a time. One officer at a time. One conversation at a time. It's not fixed. It won't be fixed tomorrow. Maybe not for years. But it's starting. And sometimes, that's enough. Maya Richardson's story isn't unique. It happens every day. According to the 2023 National Academy of Medicine study, 64% of black physicians report experiencing racial discrimination at work. Not occasionally, regularly. Black doctors are questioned about their credentials 3 times more often than white doctors with identical qualifications. 3 times. Same degree, same hospital, same scrubs, different skin. And the consequences are deadly. When black doctors treat black patients, mortality rates drop by 19%. 19%. Because representation matters. Because trust matters. Because patients open up to doctors who look like them. But implicit bias keeps black doctors out of operating rooms, out of leadership positions, out of places where they're needed most. Only 5.7% of active physicians in the United States are black. The population is 13.6% black. The gap isn't an accident. It's a pipeline problem created by stories like Maya's. Black medical students see doctors handcuffed, see professionals questioned, see excellence doubted, and they think, why bother? Marcus Webb died in 33 minutes, but his death was decades in the making. Underfunded black neighborhoods with slower ambulances. Police trained to see black skin as suspicious. A healthcare system that questions black credentials while accepting white mediocrity. A culture demanding black people prove their humanity while white people get assumed competence. Marcus died because Officer Mitchell couldn't imagine a black woman in scrubs being legitimate. That failure of imagination kills people. Let that sink in. Imagination, not evidence, not facts. Not the stethoscope or the hospital ID or the medical journals or the colleague calling to confirm. Imagination. Mitchell saw what he expected to see. And a boy died. This isn't about one bad cop. It's about a system that trains people to associate authority with whiteness, to question competence when it comes in black and brown packages, to prioritize assumptions over evidence. Here's what saved Maya, not being the chief's wife. It was Sergeant Williams calling the deputy mayor first. Understanding that individual rescue isn't justice. System change is justice. If Chief Richardson had arrived first, the story becomes powerful man saves wife. But Morrison arriving first made it black professionals denied dignity. One is personal. The other is systemic. That's the difference between protection and privilege. Protection is about connections. Justice is about rights. Maya shouldn't have needed a powerful husband. The next Dr. Richardson won't need one either. Officer Hayes chose growth. He enrolled in training. He works with accountability nonprofits now. He'll spend his life making sure other officers don't make his mistake. Officer Mitchell chose bitterness. He left law enforcement believing he was right. Some people would rather protect their ego than their community. The message, accountability isn't punishment. It's an invitation to be better. Hayes accepted the invitation. Mitchell refused it. We can't save everyone, but we can make the cost of remaining Mitchell so high that more people choose to become Hayes. So what do you do? If you work in healthcare and you've experienced this, document it, report it, share it. Your silence protects a system that kills patients. Use the hashtag #IamMayaRichardson. Tag your hospital. Demand changes. If you wear a badge, the next time you see someone who doesn't match your unconscious image of professional, pause. Ask yourself, am I doubting evidence or doubting skin color? Your split-second assumptions have life or death consequences. To the good cops watching, your silence is complicity. When your colleague profiles someone, speak up. When someone questions a doctor in scrubs, intervene. Courage isn't optional. If you've witnessed profiling, film when safe. Your phone is accountable. Call your city council. Demand civilian review boards with real power. Vote for district attorneys who prosecute police misconduct. Support the Marcus Webb Foundation. Scholarship money is justice money. Teach your children that authority comes in all colors. If they're surprised by a black doctor, you've failed them. Go back to the beginning of this story. Watch Mitchell's face when he says, scrubs can be bought for $20. That's not caution, that's contempt. Watch how he dismisses every piece of evidence. That's implicit bias in action. Marcus Webb died at 11:20 p.m. His mother identified his body at 2 a.m. She'll never hear him laugh again, never see him graduate, never watch him build the bridges he dreamed of. All because Mitchell couldn't believe a black woman in scrubs. How many more Marcus Webbs? How many more Mayas are arrested for excellence? Next time you see someone who doesn't look like your image of doctor or lawyer or executive, will you question them? Or will you question yourself? Because one of those questions saves lives, the other ends them. Share this story. Not because Maya is a chief's wife, but because she's a surgeon excellent enough to save lives but not believable enough to be black while doing it. Comment your story below. Tag a black professional you respect. Subscribe if you believe systems can change. Let's make Maya Richardson the last person arrested for being too qualified to be believed. Marcus Webb wanted to build bridges. Instead, he built a movement. What will you build?
At Black Voices Uncut, we don't polish away the pain or water down the message. We tell it like it is because the truth deserves nothing less. If today's story spoke to you, click like, join the conversation in the comments, and subscribe so you'll be here for the next Uncut Voice.
A black waitress doing math, that's rich. Richard Sterling laughed, looking at Yvonne like she was a joke. He crumpled the paper with the equation and threw it at her chest. Pick it up. That's what girls like you are here for, right? His 8 guests howled, phones out, recording. A young black woman being humiliated. Their entertainment. Yvonne bent down, picked up the crumpled paper with shaking hands. Sterling grinned. I'll pay $3 million if you can even read that. But you didn't finish high school, did you? She probably thinks algebra's a pasta dish, someone laughed. But then Yvonne looked at the equation. Her hands stopped shaking. She looked up at Sterling and opened her mouth. Wait, before I tell you what she said, hit subscribe, because this black waitress is about to destroy a billionaire in 60 seconds. Comment. Ever been judged by your skin color? Because Yvonne's carrying a secret that'll cost him $50 million. Let me show you how it started. 3 hours earlier, Yvonne pushed through the staff entrance of the Crystal Room at 6:30 p.m., just like she had every night for the past 8 months. 8 months of being invisible. The Crystal Room doesn't advertise, doesn't need to. $50,000 annual membership. Waitlist of Fortune 500 CEOs. This is where billionaires close deals over $1,000 stakes, where senators shake hands with hedge fund managers, where power eats dinner, and where Yvonne Brooks served drinks and stayed quiet. She showed her ID to security, headed to the staff locker room. Vivaldi played through the hallways, classy, expensive, suffocating. Locker 23, she spun the combination. Inside, folded carefully against the metal wall, was a torn envelope. Cambridge University. The acceptance letter that arrived 2 years ago. PhD program, pure mathematics, number theory. She used to look at it every day. Now she tried not to. Next to it, a photo. Her younger brother, Tommy, grinning in a hospital bed 3 months post-surgery. Thumbs up, alive. The surgery that cost $183,000. The surgery that saved his life and ended hers. Yvonne closed her eyes. Breathed. She was 28 years old. She'd been 6 months away from becoming Dr. Yvonne Brooks. 6 months from defending her dissertation at one of the best mathematics programs in the world. And then Tommy collapsed during a pickup basketball game. Rare autoimmune disorder. Experimental treatment, not covered by insurance. The kind of medical emergency that doesn't wait for payment plans. Cambridge paid her $28,000 a year, good for a graduate student, useless for a crisis. She'd made the choice in under an hour. Family first, always. The Crystal Room paid $45 an hour plus tips. Working doubles, she pulled $70,000 a year. In 2 years, Tommy's bills would be paid off. Maybe then she could go back. Maybe. But every day, Cambridge felt further away, and the equations in her head felt more like ghosts. Robinson, you're on Sterling tonight. Yvonne jumped. Her manager, Dennis, stood in the doorway with a clipboard. His face was serious. Private dining room, 8 guests, very high profile. Understood. Dennis lowered his voice. Yvonne, listen to me. Richard Sterling he's difficult. He likes games, challenges. Last month he made a busboy recite the Constitution, for laughs. The month before he had a server solve a Rubik's Cube while balancing drinks. Yvonne's stomach tightened. If he starts anything, Dennis continued, just stay professional. Don't engage. Don't react. Let him have his fun and move on. Stay invisible. That was the rule. That was survival. Got it. Dennis left. Yvonne turned back to her locker. Tucked in the corner behind her uniform was a worn notebook. Black cover, pages filled with equations. Her equations. Problems she worked on during breaks, in bathroom stalls, in the storage room when no one was looking. Because even though she served champagne, her brain never stopped working. Modified Riemann variants, elliptic curve applications, prime distribution patterns, the beautiful, elegant world of pure mathematics where everything made sense, where she used to belong. She ran her finger over the notebook, then closed the locker. 2 minutes until her shift started. Yvonne smoothed her black uniform, checked her reflection. Professional, invisible, perfect. She picked up her serving tray and headed to the private dining rooms. The hallway outside Sterling's room buzzed with energy. She could hear voices inside, loud, confident, the kind of voices that never worried about being heard. Through the door, she caught fragments, telling you my R&D team has been stuck on this for over a year. Best PhDs money can buy, still can't crack it. 10 million in costs and we're nowhere. Yvonne's hand froze on the door handle. R&D team. PhDs. Can't crack it. She knew that language. That was her language. She shook it off. Not her world anymore. She knocked once. Entered. 8 men in custom suits sat around a table covered in crystal and china. The kind of wealth that didn't need to announce itself. Richard Sterling sat at the head. Mid-50s, silver hair, shirt open at the collar. The kind of confidence that came from never being told no. Yvonne moved silently around the table, setting down the first course. Seared scallops, microgreens, gold leaf. The men barely glanced at her. She was furniture. Sterling kept talking. The problem combines number theory with cryptographic systems. It's the bottleneck in our new encryption platform. Solve that, and we're looking at a $50 billion market. A younger founder laughed. So your company's future depends on a math problem nobody can solve. Not nobody, just not yet. Sterling grinned. I'm offering 10 million to whoever cracks it. Stanford's mathematics department is working on it. MIT consulted. Nothing. Yvonne's hand trembled slightly as she set down the last plate. Number theory, cryptographic systems. That was her dissertation field. She steadied her breathing and backed toward the door. Will there be anything else, Mr. Sterling? He didn't look at her. We're fine. She left, closed the door behind her, leaned against the hallway wall. Number theory, cryptography. That was the exact framework she'd spent 2 years developing at Cambridge, the work that should have made her Dr. Brooks, the research that would have changed her life. And Richard Sterling was sitting in there throwing millions at a problem she might actually understand. Might. Yvonne pushed off the wall. It didn't matter. That wasn't her life anymore. She was a waitress. She served food. She collected tips. She paid bills. She didn't solve billion-dollar problems. She returned to the kitchen, picked up the second course. When she entered again, the energy had shifted. Sterling had papers spread across the table, equations, dense mathematical notation. This is it, he said to his guests. This is the equation eating my budget alive. 18 months. Best team money can buy. Nothing. Yvonne set down plates of duck confit, tried not to look at the papers. She failed. From 3 feet away, she could see it. The structure, the notation, the beautiful, terrible complexity. And her heart stopped. She knew this problem. Not similar. Not close. This exact problem. Modified Collat's conjecture merged with elliptic curve theory. Prime distribution overlay. This was a variant of her thesis framework, the work she'd presented at Cambridge, the research she'd abandoned. She could solve this, right now. Sterling looked up, noticed her frozen in place. His eyes narrowed, then brightened with something cruel. Wait, he said slowly, a smile spreading across his face. I just had the best idea. Yvonne's stomach dropped. She knew what was coming. Gentlemen, Sterling announced, setting down his wine. Let's make this dinner interesting. The 8 men turned their attention to him, to her. And Yvonne realized her life was about to change. The 8 men turned to look at Yvonne. Sterling stood up slowly, papers in hand, that smile still on his face, the smile of someone who'd just found a new toy. This young lady has been listening to us discuss the most complex mathematical problem my company has ever faced. He gestured toward Yvonne like she was part of the furniture. What's your name again? Yvonne's throat went dry. Yvonne, sir. Yvonne. Beautiful name. His smile didn't reach his eyes. Tell me something, Yvonne. You've been serving us all night, hearing us talk about equations and algorithms. Do you understand any of it? Every instinct screamed at her to lie, to say no, to escape. But she looked at those papers in his hand. At the equation she recognized. Some, sir. The table went quiet, then erupted in laughter. Some. Sterling repeated it like he was savoring wine. She understands some of it. Fascinating. He walked toward her, papers still in hand. Did you go to college, Yvonne? The question was a trap. She could feel it. Some college, sir. Some college. He turned to his guests. Gentlemen, we have a part-time scholar among us. More laughter. Tell me, Yvonne, where did you study? Community college? Her jaw tightened. I attended several institutions, sir. Several institutions. How impressive. Sterling was enjoying this now, fully performing. And what did you study at these several institutions? Mathematics, sir. The laughter got louder. Mathematics! One guest nearly choked on his wine. Richard, this is too good. Another guest leaned forward, grinning. Wait, so you studied math and now you're, serving dinner? That's what happens when you go to community college, someone else added. Great investment. Sterling held up his hand for quiet. No, let's not be rude to our guest. But his eyes were cruel. Yvonne clearly has an interest in mathematics. Who are we to discourage that? He held out the papers. In fact, I have a proposal. Yvonne's heart was pounding. This equation here? Sterling tapped the papers. It's cost my company $10 million over 18 months. The best PhDs from Stanford and MIT have been working on it. The absolute top minds in the field. He stepped closer to Yvonne. But you know what? I'm a generous man, an equal opportunity employer, so I'm going to make you an offer. His voice dropped to mock sincerity. If you can solve this equation, Yvonne, I will personally write you a check for $3 million. Right here, right now. The room exploded in laughter. Richard, you're insane! $3 million, for the waitress! This is the best entertainment I've seen all year! A younger founder pulled out his phone. I'm recording this. This is going viral. Another guest. Does she even know what an equation is? Sterling ignored them. He was focused on Yvonne, papers extended. I'm completely serious. $3 million, tax-free. All you have to do is solve one little problem that Stanford's mathematics department can't crack. He pushed the papers closer to her face. Go ahead, Yvonne. Take a look. Show us what that community college mathematics education can do. More phones came out. Everyone was recording now. This was going to be everywhere. A young black waitress being humiliated by a billionaire. Viral content. Millions of views. Yvonne's hands were shaking as she set down her tray on the sideboard. Actually, Sterling continued, turning to perform for his audience, let's make this even more interesting. $5 million. Because you know what? I believe in supporting education, especially for people who didn't quite make it the traditional route. Richard, she probably can't even read it. Someone laughed. Another guest. Does she know what calculus is or algebra? Come on, this is cruel even for you, Sterling. The girl looks like she's about to cry. But Yvonne wasn't about to cry. She was staring at the papers in Sterling's hand. At the equation she'd spent 2 years of her life studying. Sterling waved the papers in front of her face. What's wrong, Yvonne? Numbers not really your thing? That's okay. Not everyone is cut out for intellectual work. Some people are meant to serve. Nothing wrong with that. A guest laughed. Sterling, give her a calculator. Maybe she can figure out the tip. Or a pen and paper. Maybe some crayons? More laughter. More phones recording. Sterling's voice dropped lower. Here's what I think, Yvonne. I think you have no idea what you're looking at. I think you said you studied mathematics because it sounded good. But looking at you? He gestured at her uniform, her skin, her entire existence. Girls like you don't end up solving problems like this. Girls like you end up exactly where you are, serving people like us. The room was howling now, but something had shifted in Yvonne's face. Her hands stopped shaking. She looked at Sterling, really looked at him. May I see the paper, sir? The laughter faltered slightly. Sterling's eyebrows went up in mock surprise. Oh, she wants to see it. Absolutely, Yvonne, please. He thrust the papers into her hands. Take your time. We have all night. This should be hilarious. Yvonne took the papers. Her eyes scanned the equation. Modified Collat's conjecture. Elliptic curve overlay. Prime distribution pattern embedded in residue classes. This was it. This was her thesis framework. The exact problem she'd abandoned when Tommy got sick. The research that should have made her Dr. Brooks. The work she'd dreamed about for 2 years. And Sterling was offering $5 million for the solution. $5 million. Tommy's medical bills paid in full, her own debt erased, money to go back to Cambridge, money to finish what she started. All for solving a problem she already knew how to solve. Her heart was racing. The room was watching her, waiting for her to fumble, to admit defeat, to prove them right about who she was and what she was capable of. Sterling was grinning. Any time now, Yvonne. Or would you like us to explain what those symbols mean? Someone laughed. Give her a minute. She's probably trying to figure out which way is up. Yvonne's grip tightened on the papers. She looked up at Sterling, and she made a choice. I'll need something to write with. Yvonne's voice was calm, too calm. Sterling blinked. What? A pen or a stylus? Do you have a tablet? The laughter in the room shifted, uncertain now. Sterling pulled out his tablet, still grinning. Sure, let's see what you've got, sweetheart. He handed it to her like he was humoring a child. Take your time. Maybe start by identifying which symbols are numbers. More nervous laughter from the guests. Yvonne set the papers down on the sideboard, took the tablet. Her fingers moved across the screen, opening a note-taking app. The room watched, phones recording, waiting for the punchline. She looked at the equation one more time, and then she began. Her finger moved across the screen, not hesitant, not searching, fast, confident, like she'd done this 1,000 times before, because she had. The room's laughter started to fade into confused murmurs. Sterling was still smiling, but something flickered in his eyes. Yvonne, you don't have to actually— This is a trap equation, she said quietly, not looking up. The room went silent. Excuse me? Sterling's smile was frozen on his face. Yvonne's finger kept moving across the screen, writing, numbers flowing. It's designed to look like a computational problem. That's why your team has been trying to solve it with brute force methods, sequential algorithms, infinite iteration models. One of the guests leaned forward. What is she talking about? Another guest whispered. Is she actually doing math? Yvonne continued, her voice steady and clinical. The Collatz conjecture component here. She circled a section on the screen. It's misdirection, a false lead. It makes you think the solution is in the recursive sequences, but that's not where the answer lives. Sterling's smile was fading. Hold on. Your encryption bottleneck isn't in the algorithm design. It's in your key generation assumption. Yvonne was writing faster now, equations appearing on the screen in rapid succession. You're treating this as a sequential convergence problem. You're searching for the solution at infinity. She looked up briefly, met Sterling's eyes. But this doesn't converge at infinity. It converges at a finite iteration point. A guest in the back, older, glasses, quieter than the others, stood up slowly. Wait, what did you just say? Yvonne didn't answer. She was already writing again. The elliptic curve pattern is hidden in the residue classes. Most people miss it because they're focused on the Collatz trap, but if you isolate the prime distribution using Tau's modified sieve method— The older guest took a step closer. You know Tau's work? I attended his lecture series at Cambridge when he presented the 2019 modification. Yvonne's stylus moved faster. His approach to prime distribution in non-standard spaces is the key to unlocking this. The room had gone completely quiet now. Even the phones had lowered slightly. Sterling was staring at the tablet screen, at the equations flowing from Yvonne's fingers. Cambridge? You went to Cambridge? Yvonne ignored him. She was in the zone now, the place she hadn't been in 8 months, the place where her mind worked fastest, clearest, brightest. The recursive function everyone tries to extend to infinity? She was talking faster now, to herself as much as to them. That's the second trap. The convergence point is finite, specifically iteration 39. Her fingers flew across the screen. More equations, more proofs, building on each other like a symphony. Once you recognize that, the encryption key generation becomes straightforward. The elliptic curve collapses to a single solution set based on the 39th iteration convergence point. The older guest was right behind her now, looking over her shoulder at the tablet. His face had gone pale. My God. She's right. The convergence point. We've been searching in the wrong space. Who the hell is this? Someone whispered. Another guest. Sterling, what's happening? But Sterling wasn't answering. He was staring at Yvonne like he was seeing her for the first time. Yvonne continued writing, her hand completely steady now, no tremor, no hesitation. The bottleneck in your encryption system happens because you're generating keys across an infinite search space. But if you limit the space to the 39th iteration convergence, more writing, faster, and apply the elliptic curve reduction using the residue class pattern— She was building the proof step by step, each line following inevitably from the last. The kind of mathematical elegance that only came from deep understanding. The kind of work that took years to develop. The solution set reduces to a single value through modular arithmetic. final stroke of the stylus. Yvonne looked up from the tablet. Negative 39.2 recurring. That's your encryption seed constant. Applied through the modified elliptic curve framework I just outlined, it will eliminate your bottleneck completely. She held out the tablet to Sterling. Your team was solving the wrong problem. That's why they failed. Total time elapsed. 53 seconds. The room was frozen. 8 billionaires, collectively worth tens of billions of dollars, staring at a black waitress holding a tablet like it contained the secrets of the universe. Because it did. Sterling's hand shook slightly as he took the tablet. His eyes scanned the screen, the equations, the proofs, the elegant, inevitable mathematics flowing across it. His face went from confident to confused to something that looked like fear. You can't just... The older guest grabbed the tablet from Sterling's hands. Let me see that. He studied the screen intensely. His finger scrolling, checking her work, his eyes moving faster and faster. Jesus Christ, he whispered. What? Another guest stood up. What is it? The older man looked up at Yvonne. Who are you? A waitress, someone muttered. But it sounded hollow now. Yvonne met the older man's eyes. I was a PhD candidate at Cambridge, pure mathematics, number theory specialization. I focused on modified Riemann variants and elliptic curve applications in cryptographic systems. The second wave of shock hit the room even harder than the first. You were a PhD candidate at Cambridge? Sterling's voice cracked. Then what the hell are you doing here? My younger brother needed emergency surgery, $183,000. The Cambridge stipend was $28,000 a year. Yvonne's voice was steady, matter-of-fact. I needed money immediately. This job pays more, so I made a choice. The room absorbed that, the weight of it. The older guest was shaking his head, still staring at the tablet. Sterling! Richard, look at this! What? Sterling's voice was hoarse. She didn't just solve your problem. She identified the fundamental flaw in your entire approach. He turned the tablet around, showing the screen to the room. Your team has been trying to solve this computationally for 18 months. She just proved that computational approaches will always fail. You need an analytical solution, which she just provided. He looked back at Yvonne with something like awe. This is doctoral-level work. Beyond doctoral, this is publishable. Another guest pulled out his phone, started typing frantically. I'm sending this to my quant team right now to verify. Don't, the older guest said sharply. Not until we confirm it's correct. It's correct, Yvonne said quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. How do you know? Sterling asked. Because this was my dissertation topic. I spent 2 years developing this exact framework at Cambridge. The equation you showed me is a variant of the problem I was researching before I left. She gestured to the tablet. I didn't solve your problem just now. I applied research I'd already completed. The room went silent again. A different kind of silence. The silence of people realizing they'd made a terrible mistake. Sterling was staring at her. You left Cambridge 6 months before finishing? Yes. For your brother? Yes. And you've been working here for 8 months. Sterling sat down heavily, like his legs couldn't hold him anymore. The younger founder, who'd been recording, whispered, Holy shit, we just watched a genius solve an impossible equation while we mocked her. Another guest, red-faced, couldn't meet Yvonne's eyes. Jesus. I'm sorry. What I said was... But Yvonne wasn't looking at him. She was looking at the older guest, still holding the tablet. You can verify the solution if you want, she said. But it's correct. The 39th iteration convergence point is the key. Everything else follows from that. The older man nodded slowly. I believe you, but I'm going to verify anyway. Because if you're right, and I think you are, this is revolutionary. He pulled out his laptop from his briefcase, started typing, pulling up verification software, mathematical databases, academic papers. The room watched him work, watched his face, watched his expression cycle from skepticism to shock to something approaching disbelief. Sterling, he said, his voice tight. Do you know who I am? Of course. Dr. William Foster, Stanford Mathematics Department. Right? And I've been consulting on your encryption problem for 6 months. Dr. Foster looked up from his laptop. His hands were shaking. I've got 3 PhD students working on this full-time. We've published 40 papers between us. I've been studying number theory for 30 years. He turned the laptop screen toward the room. She's right. Completely, perfectly, mathematically right. The room exploded. That's impossible. She's a waitress. How could she— Quiet! Dr. Foster's voice cut through the chaos. Everyone shut up. Right now. Silence fell. Dr. Foster stood up, walked directly to Yvonne. What's your full name? Yvonne Brooks. Yvonne Brooks. Who was your advisor at Cambridge? Professor Sarah Mitchell, number theory. Dr. Foster pulled out his phone, started typing. I'm calling Sarah right now. I know her. We've published together. He put the phone on speaker. It rang 3 times. William, it's midnight here. What? Sarah, quick question. Did you have a PhD student named Yvonne Brooks, number theory, left about 8 months ago? A pause. Then, yes. Brilliant student. One of the best I've ever supervised. She left for a family emergency. Why? Dr. Foster looked at Yvonne, then at Sterling. Because I just watched her solve a problem in 60 seconds that's been stumping me for 6 months. Another pause. Longer this time. That sounds like Yvonne, Professor Mitchell said softly. She was always the smartest person in any room. Most people just didn't notice. Dr. Foster ended the call. The room was dead silent. He turned to Sterling. You owe her $5 million. $5 million. The number hung in the air like smoke. Sterling was still sitting, staring at nothing. His face had gone completely blank. Dr. Foster turned to him. Richard, you offered $5 million in front of 8 witnesses. She solved it. Sterling's voice came out strangled. I need to verify. I just verified it. Dr. Foster held up his laptop. Triple-checked. Her solution is mathematically sound. It's more than sound. It's elegant. It's the kind of work that gets published in top journals. A younger guest stood up. Wait, hold on. This is insane. She's a waitress. How do we know she didn't just get lucky? Just say random numbers? Dr. Foster spun his laptop around. Does this look like luck to you? She identified the exact flaw in our methodology. She pinpointed why computational approaches fail. She provided a closed-form analytical solution with full proof. That's not luck. That's mastery. But she did it in 60 seconds, someone protested weakly. 53 seconds, Yvonne corrected quietly. Dr. Foster nodded. Because she'd already done the work. At Cambridge, for 2 years. This isn't new research for her. This is her doctoral thesis. Sterling finally found his voice. But my team, Stanford PhDs, 18 months, they couldn't— Your team was solving the wrong problem, Dr. Foster interrupted. They were using the wrong approach, trying to brute force a solution that requires analytical elegance. Miss Brooks just showed all of us what we were missing. He turned back to Yvonne. The 39th iteration convergence point. How did you identify that? It's embedded in the elliptic curve coefficients, Yvonne said. Most people assume Collat's variants converge at infinity because that's standard. But this variant has a finite convergence point hidden in the prime distribution pattern. Once you see it, everything else becomes straightforward. Dr. Foster was nodding like a student taking notes. The tau modification. You applied his 2019 framework. It was the only approach that made sense. Standard sieve methods don't work for non-standard prime distributions. Tau's modification accounts for the irregularities. Another guest, the one who'd made the calculus on the menu joke, was staring at his phone. I just Googled her. There's a Yvonne Brooks listed on Cambridge's mathematics department website. PhD candidate. Left the program 8 months ago. He looked up. His face was red. It's her. She's real. The room absorbed that. Sterling stood up slowly, walked to where Yvonne stood, looked at her like he'd never seen her before. You're really her. You're really a Cambridge mathematician. I was, Yvonne said simply. Now I'm a waitress. Because of your brother. Because I needed money to save his life. Yes. Sterling's face cycled through emotions. Confusion, embarrassment, something that might have been shame. Dr. Foster, he said, not taking his eyes off Yvonne. You're absolutely certain her solution is correct. I'm running a 4th verification right now. Dr. Foster's fingers flew across his keyboard. But yes, Richard, I'm certain. This solution works. It's brilliant. It solves your encryption bottleneck completely. He pulled up another screen. I'm checking it against the Stanford team's latest attempt. Look, they were trying to extend the convergence to infinity. Exactly what Miss Brooks said. They were in the wrong space entirely. A guest leaned over to look. So she didn't just solve it. She proved that our entire approach was doomed from the start. Exactly, Dr. Foster confirmed. Another guest, older, in a Navy suit. Sterling, do you understand what this means? She just saved you, what? Another year of R&D costs? Another 10 million? More, Dr. Foster said. With this solution, Sterling Technologies can launch their encryption platform within months instead of years. That's a market window worth hundreds of millions. The room went quiet again, everyone looking at Yvonne. At the young black woman in a waitress uniform who'd just casually solved a problem worth more than most people would see in their lifetimes. Sterling's hands were shaking. I need to sit down. He sat, put his head in his hands. The younger founder who'd been recording was staring at his phone screen. This is the most insane thing I've ever filmed. Delete it, Dr. Foster said sharply. What? Delete the recording, right now. But this is viral gold. Delete it. Dr. Foster's voice was hard. Miss Brooks just solved a proprietary problem. That solution is worth millions. If you post that video, you're exposing trade secrets. Sterling will sue you into the ground. The founder hesitated, then deleted the video. Fine. But holy shit. Another guest pulled out his phone, started typing. I'm texting my CTO. He's been working on a similar problem. Maybe Miss Brooks could... Don't, Yvonne said. Everyone looked at her. Don't what? The guest asked. Don't offer me consulting work. Don't send me problems. Don't treat me like I'm available for hire. Her voice was calm but firm. I just solved Mr. Sterling's problem. He offered $5 million. That's the transaction. Dr. Foster was watching her with something like respect. You're not interested in more work? I'm interested in finishing my PhD, in getting my life back, in being Dr. Yvonne Brooks instead of Yvonne the waitress. She looked around the room. $5 million gets me there. That's all I need. Sterling looked up. 5 million. Right, I said that. You did, Dr. Foster confirmed. In front of everyone. Sterling pulled out his phone. His hands were still shaking. What's your bank account number? Yvonne recited it, watched him type it into his banking app. The room was absolutely silent. Everyone watching Sterling's thumb hover over the transfer button. He looked up at Yvonne one more time. I humiliated you tonight. Yes, I threw paper at you, made you pick it up, called you stupid. His voice was hollow. Said you belonged in the kitchen, that girls like you don't end up at MIT. Yes. And you just solved the biggest problem my company has ever faced. Yes. Sterling's thumb pressed the button. Transfer initiated $5 million. You'll see it in your account in about 30 seconds. Yvonne's phone buzzed in her pocket almost immediately. She pulled it out, looked at the screen. Transaction alert, deposit $5 million. Her hands were shaking now, really shaking. $5 million. Tommy's medical bills, paid. Her student debt, gone. Money to go back to Cambridge. Money to finish her PhD. Money to become Dr. Brooks. $5 million for 53 seconds of work. She looked up from her phone and found 8 men staring at her. Not like furniture anymore, not like entertainment, like they were seeing her for the first time. Dr. Foster was the first to move. He stood up, looked at Yvonne, and slowly, deliberately began to clap. The applause started slow, Dr. Foster's hands coming together, once, twice, 3 times, deliberate, respectful, the kind of applause you give a colleague, an equal, a genius. Then the older guest in the Navy suit stood, joined the clapping, then another, then another. Within 10 seconds, all 8 men were on their feet. The sound built, grew, filled the private dining room like a wave. Not polite applause, not obligatory. This was genuine, overwhelming, almost desperate. The applause of people who just witnessed something they couldn't explain, something that broke their understanding of the world. Yvonne stood there, phone in hand, transaction alert glowing on the screen, and felt something crack open inside her chest. 8 months of being invisible, 8 months of serving people who looked through her, 8 months of hiding who she was, what she could do, what she'd sacrificed. And now they were applauding her. She wouldn't cry. She wouldn't give them that. But her throat was tight. The applause continued, swelled. Someone whistled. Dr. Foster was smiling, a real smile, full of admiration. Miss Brooks, that was extraordinary. Sterling was still sitting, the only person not clapping. He was staring at Yvonne with an expression somewhere between shock and something that might have been understanding. Finally, he stood. The applause died down as everyone turned to look at him. He walked toward Yvonne slowly, stopped a few feet away. $5 million, he said quietly. That's what I offered. Yvonne nodded. But that's not what this is worth. Sterling's voice had changed completely. The performative confidence was gone. What remained was raw. You just solved my company's biggest technical problem. The solution you provided will unlock our next-generation encryption platform. That's worth, conservatively, $50 million to my business. He paused, swallowed hard. $5 million doesn't cover what you just did. The room went quiet again. Dr. Foster stepped forward. Richard's right. Miss Brooks, what you just did isn't just problem-solving. This is breakthrough work. This needs to be published. A guest spoke up. You are 6 months from finishing at Cambridge? I can make calls, get you reinstated, full funding. Another guest. My company is hiring research mathematicians. Triple your salary here, plus equity. Princeton's Institute would want to hear about this work, someone else offered. Sterling raised his hand. Wait, everyone wait. The room quieted. He turned to Yvonne. I want to offer you a position. Chief Innovation Officer at Sterling Technologies. $500,000 base salary plus equity, plus performance bonuses. Someone whistled. That's a serious offer. She deserves it, Dr. Foster said firmly. Sterling continued. You'd lead our R&D division, work on real problems, problems that matter. He paused. Help me fix what's broken, not just the math, the whole system. Yvonne studied him. What do you mean? I mean, I humiliated you tonight because I thought wealth proved intelligence. I thought success meant I could identify genius. I thought I'd earned the right to judge people. He gestured at the tablet. You just proved I'm an idiot with blind spots the size of Manhattan. The guest who'd made the community college joke stood up. His face was red. Miss Brooks, I need to apologize. What I said was inexcusable. I was cruel and stupid and completely wrong. Another guest. I'm sorry, too. We judged you based on your uniform, your job. We didn't see you. More murmurs of agreement, shame settling over the room. But Yvonne wasn't interested in their shame. She was interested in what came next. Mr. Sterling, she said clearly, you said $5 million wasn't enough. What exactly are you proposing? Sterling straightened. Keep the $5 million. That's yours. But on top of that, the Chief Innovation Officer position. And one more thing. He pulled out his phone, started typing. I'm creating a new program. $10 million endowment. Scholarships for people working service jobs who want to pursue advanced degrees. Full tuition, living stipend, job flexibility, mentorship. He looked up. You'd help me run it. Find more people like you, people whose brilliance is invisible because they're too busy surviving. Dr. Foster nodded enthusiastically. I'll contribute. Stanford will want a partner on this. Another guest. My foundation will match Sterling's $10 million. The younger founder will create a tech track, fund people studying computer science, engineering, mathematics. Yvonne watched this unfold. Watched these powerful men trying to fix, in 5 minutes, a system they'd benefited from their entire lives. It was something. Not enough, but something. I'll consider your offers, she said finally, but I need time to think. She set her phone down, picked up her serving tray, then deliberately set it back down on the table. And I'm taking the rest of the night off. Sterling actually smiled. Not cruel, almost humble. Of course. Take as long as you need. Dr. Foster stepped forward. Miss Brooks, before you go, your dissertation, is it documented? Most of it, I have notes, partial drafts. I want to help you publish it, co-author if you need support, or just advisor. His voice was earnest. The world needs to see this work. Yvonne nodded slowly. I'll think about that too. She walked toward the door, hand on the handle. Miss Brooks? She turned. Sterling was standing, looking smaller somehow, less certain. What you did tonight, it wasn't just solving an equation. You taught me something about seeing people, really seeing them. Yvonne looked at him for a long moment. Mr. Sterling, I didn't do this to teach you a lesson. I did it because you offered $5 million and I needed the money. Her voice was calm, matter of fact. But if you actually learned something, if you actually change, that would mean something. She pulled open the door. The world is full of people like me, brilliant people doing survival jobs because the system doesn't see them. She paused. If you really want to fix what's broken, don't just throw money at programs. Change how you see people. Change who gets opportunities. Change the assumptions. Her voice softened slightly. I shouldn't have had to solve an equation to be seen as human, remember that. And she walked out. Behind her, the room sat in stunned silence. Then, slowly, the applause started again, softer this time, more thoughtful. The sound followed her down the hallway, the sound of 8 powerful men realizing they'd almost missed the most brilliant person they'd ever meet because she was serving their dinner. Yvonne made it halfway down the hallway before her legs started shaking. She leaned against the wall, phone clutched in her hand, staring at the screen. Transaction alert. Deposit $5 million. $5 million. Tommy's medical bills paid in full. Her student debt erased. Money to go back to Cambridge. Money to finish what she started. Money to become Dr. Yvonne Brooks. She'd done it. She'd actually done it. Her phone rang. Tommy's name flashing on the screen. She answered. Tommy? Yvonne? You okay? It's almost 11. You never call this late. Tommy. Her voice cracked. Tommy, I need to tell you something. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Everything just changed. She told him. All of it. The equation, the humiliation, the solution, the $5 million. Her words tumbling out, 8 months of being invisible suddenly breaking open. Tommy was silent for a long moment. You solved it in 60 seconds? 53. My sister's a freaking genius. Yvonne laughed. Actually laughed. For the first time in 8 months. Your sister just got very, very lucky. No, my sister is brilliant. I always knew that. His voice got serious. Now some racist billionaire knows it too. They talked for 5 more minutes. Yvonne told him about the job offer, about Cambridge, about the possibility of going back. You're finishing your PhD, Tommy said firmly. You're going to be Dr. Brooks. Promise me. I promise. Good. Now go tell them yes. Go get your life back. Yvonne ended the call, took a deep breath, steadied herself. Her manager, Dennis, appeared at the end of the hallway. His eyes were wide. Yvonne, what the hell just happened? Sterling's assistant came out and said you solved some equation for $5 million? She nodded. Holy... Dennis ran his hand through his hair. Are you serious? 5 million? Yes. Jesus Christ. Yvonne, I had no idea you were... Nobody did. That was kind of the point. Dennis looked at her differently now, like he was seeing her for the first time. Sterling just called the owner. He's donating $50,000 to establish a continuing education fund for our staff. Anyone who wants to pursue degrees gets full support. Yvonne felt something warm in her chest. He'd actually begun changing things. That's good, she said. That's really good. Dennis shook his head in disbelief. You did that. You changed his mind about all of us. Maybe. Her phone buzzed. Text message. Unknown number. Miss Brooks, this is Dr. William Foster from tonight. I meant what I said about Cambridge. I'm on the faculty advisory board. I can have you reinstated within a week. Full funding. Please consider it. The world needs your work. WF, another buzz. Different number. Yvonne, this is Richard Sterling. Take all the time you need to think, but know my offer stands. We'll be better with you leading us. RS, more texts coming in. Offers, congratulations, recognition. Yvonne silenced her phone, put it in her pocket. Dennis, I'm taking the rest of tonight off and probably tomorrow. I have some thinking to do. Of course. Take whatever time you need. He paused. Yvonne, I'm sorry. For not seeing you, for not asking questions, for letting you stay invisible. You were doing your job. I understand that better than anyone. She walked toward the staff exit, out into the cool Manhattan night. The city lights felt different now, brighter, full of possibility. Her phone kept buzzing in her pocket. More messages, more offers, more people wanting a piece of what just happened, but Yvonne didn't check them. Tonight, she just wanted to walk, to process, to feel what it was like to be seen after 8 months of invisibility, to remember what it felt like to be Dr. Yvonne Brooks again, or almost Dr. Brooks. But soon, very soon, she smiled, actually smiled, and kept walking into the Manhattan night, $5 million richer and infinite possibility ahead. Behind her, in that exclusive dining room, 8 powerful men were probably still talking about what just happened. About the genius they almost missed. About the black waitress who changed everything. But Yvonne wasn't thinking about them anymore. She was thinking about Cambridge, about her dissertation, about finishing what she started, about becoming who she was always meant to be. The smartest person in the room. Finally visible. Finally free. 4 months later. Dr. Yvonne Brooks sat in her corner office at Sterling Technologies. The nameplate on her door was new, shiny, real, Chief Innovation Officer. But the office was just the beginning. Through her window, she could see the R&D floor, 50 brilliant minds working on cutting-edge problems, and among them, 4 people who used to work service jobs. A former janitor who turned out to have a gift for computational modeling, a hotel receptionist with an intuitive understanding of cryptographic systems, a delivery driver who'd taught himself advanced calculus on YouTube, a bartender who could visualize 4-dimensional geometry in her head. The Hidden Genius Initiative had launched 3 months ago, 10 million from Sterling, 10 million matched by Dr. Foster's foundation, full scholarships, flexible work arrangements, mentorship programs, 43 people enrolled in the first wave, janitors, drivers, cashiers, servers, people with hidden brilliance finally given the chance to use it. Yvonne had kept her promise to Tommy. She'd gone back to Cambridge, defended her dissertation remotely. The work she'd started 2 years ago, finished in 6 weeks of focused intensity. Dr. Yvonne Brooks, finally. Her solution to Sterling's encryption problem had been published in the Journal of Number Theory, co-authored with Dr. Foster, already cited over 200 times. Her work was changing how cryptographers approached elliptic curve applications. Tommy had finished his freshman year. Healthy, thriving, full scholarship to MIT. He called every week to tell her about his classes, about his life, about how proud he was. The medical bills were paid, all of them, with money left over, money to breathe, money to choose, money to build the life she'd dreamed of. But the real change was bigger than her. Sterling Technologies had transformed its hiring practices. Blind technical assessments, problem-solving challenges open to anyone. Opportunities for people who'd been invisible. The story had gone viral. Not the humiliation. The videos had been deleted. But the outcome. Waitress solves billion-dollar problem became a case study. Universities changed recruitment. Companies looked beyond pedigree. And Yvonne? She returned to the Crystal Room once a month, not as staff. As guest speaker for initiative recruitment events, standing in that same private dining room where Sterling had humiliated her, talking to service workers about hidden potential, about taking chances, about believing in their own brilliance. Today was one of those days. She stood at the front of the room, 20 service workers sitting at the table where billionaires used to eat, listening, hoping. 4 months ago I was serving dinner in this room, Yvonne said. A billionaire threw paper at me, made me pick it up, called me stupid, and then handed me a problem he thought I couldn't solve. The room was silent, attentive. I solved it in 53 seconds. Not because I'm special, but because I'd already done the work. Years of work. Work nobody saw because I was too busy surviving. She paused. The point isn't that I'm brilliant. The point is that brilliance is everywhere. In this room, in every restaurant, every hotel, every store. The question isn't whether it exists. The question is whether we see it. A young man in a janitor's uniform raised his hand. Dr. Brooks, I've been reading about number theory on my breaks, but I never finished high school. Can I still apply? Yvonne smiled, walked over to him. What's your name? James, ma'am. James, let me tell you something important. She pulled out an application form. This program exists for people exactly like you, and I'm going to personally sponsor your enrollment. His eyes went wide. Because 4 months ago, I was you, invisible, brilliant, waiting. She handed him the form. The world is full of hidden geniuses. You just have to see them. And in that moment, watching James's face light up with possibility, Yvonne understood. This was the real victory. Not the money, not the position, not even the PhD. This, passing it forward, making sure the next hidden genius didn't have to wait as long. The genius was always there.